Hi, welcome back to the podcast, Ralph's Law, where justice reigns. And yeah, it's been a minute, but today was kind of interesting because I had some questions. I actually had a good friend, and we were talking about certain things, and he wanted to get some tips on how to get certain jobs, as an attorney, So I'm just gonna dive right into it because I've seen that this is a big problem for a lot of attorneys out there. I'm Ralph, and I'm an attorney, law professor. I've also worked as a public defender. And also worked as a DA, district attorney, deputy district attorney, in very amazing counties in California. It's challenging, of course, but it's also quite exciting. So it has given me an insight into certain things regarding that area of the law, criminal law. That's what I've always loved. I've always loved that. So I've had questions from a lot of people on how to actually be able to get hired if they wanted to work as a deputy public defender, or if they wanted to work as a deputy district attorney. So this video, I'm just putting this out to just help folks out there, because I actually saw that you don't even have a lot of this videos out there. I think one of the things that actually affects some attorneys is that like they pass the bar exam and they become attorneys, but they don't really have any nobody teaches you that. There's no script on how to be an attorney. So sometimes people struggle, so I put this out. Part of the aim, part of the goal for my videos in this podcast is actually to make good attorneys become better attorneys. I want to just equip you with the tools that you need to come into that courtroom, own that courtroom, and get the best possible outcomes for your clients. That's what I do. All right. So yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna break this video down. This is gonna be more like a continuing series. So I'll just break it down into two parts. So the first one that I'm gonna do will be public defenders position. So if you're an attorney, like you're practicing and you want to get a job as a public defender, okay, you're trying to figure out how to do it, you apply, and then they call you for an interview. They call you for an interview. So it's like, that's the problem. That's where you're panicking, right? You're trying to figure out what to do. Okay. So we have to go to the basics. Just the basics. So I'm just going to talk about three things today. Three. That's it. Just three things today that you have to master, because at the end of the day, it's all about mastery. I am a big proponent. I've been in the education industry for a while. I mean, even before I became an attorney, I've always been an educator. So, three things that you have to master. It's about mastery and immersion. You have to know this stuff. So, if you have an interview as an attorney in a public defender's office, number one, make sure you research who the public defender of that county is. Yeah. And you'll be surprised at the amount of, lots of times that, people that are doing interviews, they're like, whoa, this person is trying to get this job. They don't even know who the public defender is. So you, as an attorney trying to work in that public defender's office, as a deputy public defender, you should and must know the name of the actual public defender in that county and research that person, because that information will actually help you in the interview. It's going to help you because It will help you to know how that person is actually like running, the day-to-day affairs of the public defender's office. And it will help you to actually know what they expect from you. It would help you to know who that person is and what his visions and missions for that public defender's office is. So it is incumbent, well, you should do that. You should do that work. So there are people that some people don't do that, and they just apply, and then afterwards they start wondering, oh, why didn't I get the job? Well, maybe you didn't get the job because they were talking about somebody. They were talking about the public defender, and you don't even know the name. Don't do that. Come on, don't do that. So that's tip number one. All right. Number two. Research the county public defender's office that you're trying to get into. Look at the programs that they offer. Of course, being a public defender, you're trying to defend people that are indigent. But they may also have different programs. Maybe they have stuff on mental health, mental health. They might have stuff on mental health patients. They might have all kinds of stuff. They might have, they might have a whole lot of stuff on juvenile cases, all that kind of stuff. They might have stuff. Just research them and see the programs that they actually offer to the public, the programs that they offer to the residents of that county, and be familiar with that. You have to familiarize yourself with that because it will likely come up in an interview. One of the things that interview panels don't like is when you don't know anything about the county and you're just coming up just saying, oh, I just want to work here. I just want to work here, because I don't know, maybe I love the weather. That is so freaking messed up. Like, don't do that. I'm trying to tell you, so when you understand those things, I'm telling you, you're going to get these jobs. So that's why I do this podcast, getting good attorneys to be better attorneys. Actually, to be exceptional, phenomenal attorneys. That's what we do here. All right? So, yeah. So research the place that you're applying for and see the programs that they offer to the population, to the residents of that county, and make sure that you understand what it's all about. Yeah. Number three. This is such a... The reason why I wanted to talk about this is it's people overlook that. They overlook it, and I have people that will say, hey, they'll talk to me, hey Ralph, I don't know, the interview went well, but what happened? Like, I thought I was gonna get the job, and then I'm like, okay, what happened? Talk to me about how the whole process went. And they're like, okay, well, this happened, that happened. At the end of most interviews, usually it's a panel, for these jobs, maybe you can have a panel of maybe 3 people, maybe 4 people. Sometimes it may just be a panel of just 2 people, whatever, but it doesn't matter. But at the end of the interview, they will ask you, oh, do you have any question for us? Yeah. So, do you have any question for us after the interview? Do not say, no, I don't have questions for you. Because that's not cool. That's not okay. You're supposed to have questions for them, because even though they are doing the interview on you, in a way, you're also interviewing them. And for them, if you have questions for them, it shows them that you were prepared for the interview. It shows them that you're prepared, you're confident, and it seems like you're also competent. So yeah, you have questions for them. Come up with good questions for them at the interview. At the end of the interview, you have to come up with questions for them. Do not just say, "Oh no, I don't have any questions for you." When you don't have questions for them, it's not good. It just doesn't look good on you. So that's just the three tips. And I know these things sometimes it will seem like it's just commonsensical, but people just mess this up sometimes, and then they wonder like, oh, I feel like I'm qualified on paper, but then I'm not getting the job. But I'm here to tell you, these things matter. All right. I've been in situations where I've worked. I've been a law professor. I'm an attorney. I've been a law professor. I've worked in a public defender's office. I've also worked in as a deputy district, as a prosecutor in a DA's office. So these things, it's all the same process, just generally. So figure out how to come up with good questions for them after the interview, because that shows that you have confidence, but also competence, because sometimes you want the two C's: competence, confidence. You want to be confident enough to say what you need to say when you need to say it, but you also want to back that up with competence. You want to know what you're talking about. We don't want, most people, they don't want to hire somebody that's just like, oh, just like you're just confident, but you're not competent. That's not cool. I think back in the day in Texas, we used to call that being all hat and no cow. So confidence and competence. Come up with a good question that makes sense, and it's also like germane to the issue that's being discussed. Most likely what the public defender's office is talking about and the services that they give to people. Come up with a good question, one or two good questions, and you ask them those questions at the end of the interview. And I'm telling you, it's actually impressive to the people that are interviewing you. And you'll likely be invited to the next level of the interview. Maybe that's when they make the hiring decisions. Some people, I've had situations where I'm hired on the spot, so that's different. But sometimes there are situations where people will just say, hey, there's another set of interviews that's going to come up. So, but at least if they're impressed with you and your legal knowledge and the fact that you can actually be able to research and do your homework and ask them good questions, then they'll invite you to come up to the next level of the interview. And so that's what I wanted to talk about in this podcast, in this particular video, because I've had a lot of questions regarding that situations, how to get those jobs. So this will be a continuing series. I'll talk about other situations regarding getting other attorney jobs, and just how to get people, just help attorneys to get better and get the kind of jobs that they desire. But that's all I wanted to say, to talk about today. And this is Ralph's Law, where justice reigns. And I will see you soon. Peace.